MK Ultra was when the Unabomber, who was a professor of mathematics, was a victim of CIA mind control operation. This is all well documented. So he was used as experimentation for CIA mind control, MK Ultra, and then ends up becoming very violent, obviously, and disturbed person in the hills of Montana, and starts sending around explosive devices. And he had this manifesto, and the manifesto that he wrote was all about warnings of technology. But his kind of psychosis was induced by MK Ultra. We know this because of the Church and Pike Committee that was constituted in the 1960s and 70s by Congress to look into all of the activity by the Central Intelligence Agency. That's what we learned about the heart attack gun, where the CIA can make it look like you had a heart attack by just shooting, a dart at you, taking the dart out, and then it mimics a heart attack. Makes you wonder how many people in public life actually have had a heart attack gun against them. That
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, or Andrew Breitbart. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick. Interesting. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
The essence of the MK Ultra was that CIA was actively involved in trying to proliferate mass mind control, and also being able to find an individual subject and be able to change their behavior and maybe turn them into someone who was violent, who otherwise was not, to turn somebody into someone who was very manipulative, otherwise would not. So you could take a subject, and they do this through very similar to Clockwork Orange, right? Mm-hmm. That is like an example of MK Ultra, where they take you and you completely change. You're damaged. And they did this a lot with psychedelics. It would give patients psychedelics to see if they could turn somebody into like a school shooter or something.
Charles Manson.
Charlie Manson is another. Yeah, he was a MK Ultra. Well, I don't know if we know he was for sure. Right, no, actually, in the book CIA in the 60s,
mm-hmm.
they believe Charlie Manson was.
Do you think the MK Ultra project ever actually ended? Or just went under
we have no evidence that it ended. And I mean, also we have Operation Mockingbird too, which was another CIA program, which was that they were going to take over all the news networks and have symmetry in their broadcast communications. No, the Central Intelligence Agency is actively involved in mind manipulation of people here domestically. And that is completely against the CIA charter. We must understand, we have Congress, and they're just kind of like a peanut gallery. And then we have a super government that exists above Congress of the Department of Defense, which is the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency, which is its own thing out in Langley, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They run the country. The intel agencies run the country.
I agree.
People don't run the country. The executive branch doesn't run the country. This is why they hate Trump, because Trump was the first candidate since JFK to actually want to declare war on the intel agencies and bring the power back to the sovereign. And both him and Kennedy got shot. Makes you think.
What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, looking at what the CIA has done before, it makes you wonder. Because if you look at what MK Ultra was and how they wound people up and how they disturb people, there's a lot of just suspicious stuff that happened on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania. A lot of suspicious stuff.
Absolutely.